I'm sure many of you guys are aware that myself, Jason Rubin, along with many others that are into the stratosphere of the Cole world, are humongous Jermaine Cole fans. And it should not be surprising to any, considering his track record of being a social activist, not only in his rhymes, but also having a presence and being in important places at important times, said this in Baltimore. Matter of fact, don't y'all think that someone that has money, power, and fame should be standing up for them type of shits? Baltimore, the shit that's happening here, don't you think that somebody should risk their whole livelihood and their whole life to talk about this shit, even if it costs them their money, their job, their life? Don't that sound like Colin Kaepernick? Don't that sound like what he doing? And he trying to come to Baltimore, the city that seems to need that shit for real. Now, it's true. Baltimore does need that sort of shit. And yet the problem with all this is we have an owner for the Baltimore Ravens that is blocking the GM Ozzie Newsome and also the head coach John Harbaugh from signing Colin Kaepernick. Now, why exactly would the Ravens sign Colin Kaepernick? And I'll get back to J. Cole in just a second. Is that Joe Flacco hurt his back. Ryan Mallett, the former Patriots, Texans, and current Baltimore Ravens player, sucks. Isn't doing anything. Never say never, but he hasn't proven himself. So they have a quarterback dilemma if Joe Flacco is going to be out. John Harbaugh has lobbied for Colin Kaepernick. Now, before I get to that, J. Cole has been in important places at important times. He has been not a pioneer, but as I said, a social activist and fighting for those in impoverished societies in America. He has marched in D.C. He has marched in New York. He has put out the song Be Free, which everyone should absolutely listen to. It is incredible. He went to Ferguson, Missouri. He was one of the first ones to go before it became like the thing to do with a lot of celebrities. He was there. He's been there. What I appreciate about J. Cole is that he talks the talks in his rhymes, but he also walks the walks by being in those places and discussing these issues on big platforms like Tavis Smiley and even on smaller platforms just like a social media account. So I applaud him for what he's doing. Now, from the Ravens' perspective, it seems like John Harbaugh has also applauded Colin Kaepernick and wanted the team to sign him because here's what he said. He's, as in Kaepernick, a guy right now that's being talked about. We'll see what happens with that. Only speculation right now. He's a really good football player, and like I said, I do believe he'll be playing in the National Football League this year. This is a rarity that a head coach would talk about a free agent. It rarely happens. Rarely. So what do I believe with this? Take it with a grain of salt. But what I believe is that John Harbaugh publicly is lobbying for Colin Kaepernick and sending a warning shot to the owner, Steve Bisciotti, because according to Diana Rossini, Ravens head coach John Harbaugh, GM Ozzie Newsome support signing Colin Kaepernick, but it met resistance from owner Steve Bisciotti, per sources. John Harbaugh is going out of his way to say that Colin Kaepernick can win football games and wink, wink, he can win with us. Now, Bisciotti has not necessarily gone on the record saying that he is against signing Colin Kaepernick. But I do believe Diana Rossini because she's a well-respected, very credible reporter, NFL reporter for ESPN. And also, if we do remember, Steve Bisciotti lobbied to NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell to decrease the amount of games for a suspension for Ray Rice. We all know what happened with Ray Rice. He punched the crap out of his girlfriend, fiance, now wife, Janae Palmer, in a Las Vegas elevator, I believe. It was in an elevator. I believe it was in Vegas. He also sought Ray Lewis's counsel. We know how against Colin Kaepernick Ray Lewis has been and said that he shouldn't be doing the things that he's doing on the football field. And if you want to do your activism, do it in private. Well, it's not really activism, Ray. It just seems ridiculous to me, and we're beating a drum here, but we all know where I stand. We all know where other people on the show stand as well. That this is not the way to go if you are the NFL, if you are the owners. Silent protest is what we're all fighting about. Would you rather have somebody do a silent protest or know that your team backed a man of domestic violence? Would you rather back someone who is a silent protester speaking up for human rights? Or would you rather your team try to slide under the rug that he tried to bring a loaded gun, onto a plane? Would you rather your team taking a guy who was raising tons of money for charity and with those rights and trying to have those impoverished societies know their rights for when something could potentially happen? Or would you rather your team be okay with a guy driving under the influence and potentially killing somebody? It seems so black and white to me. But if I'm not aware, let me know the gray area. Let me know your thoughts about the Baltimore Ravens, Steve Biscotti, Colin Kaepernick, J. Cole. Tweet me at Rick Strom. Get at me in the comments section below and subscribe to TYT Sports.